I'm bald now. Kind of. When I started writing this album, it wasn't. I never really planned them out, you see, because I tried to plan them out once. I took about a week in college and had like 3 years worth of albums planned out. And obviously that hasn't worked. The only album that's been planned is Eclipse, actually. So I started planning them out. One of them was going to be called XD, you know, how like us 2000s emo kids would put a laughing face. Um, so this album, like any other that I've written besides Eclipse, wasn't planned out because I didn't want to rush it and I didn't want to make it something it wasn't. Because you plan something out, it's strictly cause to effect, A to B, this is where we're going to go, and this is how it's going to happen. But that's not how I wanted my journey to go. My journey was at the time of writing this album, meant to be wherever it takes me. Of course, logically, I have an inspiration and a place I want to take it, like any other person might. But essentially what I'm trying to say is that I didn't plan it out from the get-go, but it took its own course the way I felt like it could or should have done. Sort of like the flow of a river. When I put out the Flashback series in a year, that wasn't my best efforts, so to speak. Maybe Flashback was, but as I went on, it kind of dwindled. And that's not something I could be proud of. I had many regrets and mistakes and things I could learn from it. But I took them out as just as what that. I made it so, I learned from them. So when Awakened Night came along, I was fully prepared after kind of a year to think and to collect myself about what I wanted to do, about what I wanted to say and what I wanted to be. So now that we're at the end of this trilogy for Awakened Night, following Awakened Night and IOI, I wanted it to be about the one thing that's probably been at me the most. This trilogy is building up to this album, I think. So when as I talk about Dusk, I just want you to keep in mind that this album is more me than any other album that I've written so far, or any other song. And this is probably the first album where I don't have a single regret. Honestly, I don't regret anything about this album. Because I took my time. With Awakened Night, I can listen to it and be like, oh, that's sketchy, that's cringy, I really shouldn't have done that. And with IOY, obviously, for obvious reasons, I wouldn't be surprised if everybody looked at it more like just a demo that you'd send into a producer to try to get yourself signed. I'm saying it's not the best of what it could be. But I wasn't trying to make something the best. I was trying to just simply vent and get my feelings out there, So when I'm talking about Dusk, keep in mind that it's a part of me. Much like any other one of these albums or songs or any other project I do. But this album, more than anything, is a part of me because I can listen to this album by myself now and see myself. I can do that with any other one, because obviously I wrote it. But I can listen to it without thinking, man, I wish I would have said this instead. And I wanted it to be its own thing, and its own story, and its own likeness to where its sound and probability to which the listener can finally connect to it was something that was finally not at its peak, but definitely higher up the mountain than it's been for the last few years. So when you listen to this album, think of it as a story. Think of it as an extension to what anybody could be. Because this is about problems that anybody could be facing. This is about being kind. Because anybody could be facing these problems and you don't even know it.